Everyone has a story to tell. It's my mission to tell it. Unscripted, unedited, we are on the record.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. Oh, boy. Why do I have a huge smile on my face? Yep. It's Friday, and it's Love in America. And I am very pleased and proud to present Lisa and Jim Schalk. And you know, of Toffee To Go, they've been married, by the way, for 34 years.
Yes.
And this is the cutest thing. Okay, so this is a first for the show. Typically, we have the woman or the female on this side, and then the male on that side. And we have you, though, Jim, in the middle.
Identified as a lady.
As a lady.
Oh wait, I have to behave.
So why are you in the middle?
You were saying?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I was sitting here, and I'm always to the left of Jim. I sleep to the left of him. I always
Walk to the left.
I walk to the
left. When we walk in the morning, she has to go
When
on
I
my
walk,
left.
well, because he's on the right, so if a car comes, they hit him. He does it to protect me.
What?
It's very sweet.
No, that's so chivalrous.
It is. It's wonderful.
so
But
chivalrous.
so I'm always used to that. So I was sitting there, and I just was not very comfortable. I mean, I would have done it, but since your producer said we could switch, this is much more comfortable.
Okay, seriously, that is so cute and so sweet. So speaking of Toffee To Go, and we'll open this up in the second half of the show.
Okay.
These guys own Toffee To Go, which, yes, was one of Oprah's most favorite things.
Yep.
But wait for it. Even before that happened, who did the very first story about your business?
You did.
Yours truly. And this
So many years
20
ago.
years.
I mean, like 20 years
20
ago.
years.
20 years ago. All right. So, I mean,
That's pretty cool.
can I just give myself a little pat on the back?
And we're going to give you a big pat on the back. Thank you.
Journalistic instinct.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to definitely talk about your
And
business.
we
your
all look the
businesses.
same after 20 years. We
Isn't
still
it
look the same.
amazing? Isn't it
I
so
had no
great?
hair back then. I still don't.
You guys look amazing. Well, what is so cute. So we also, as you know, do the Visit Tampa Bay podcast, Unlocking Tampa Bay. I'm the host of that show as well. And so you were both featured on Unlocking Tampa Bay as couples that own businesses together. So
That was fun.
Yes, fun, so much fun. So I encourage people to watch that show as well. But immediately I said, oh my gosh, you have to come on Love in America. And then I asked you to come on when in like November and tell everybody what you said.
November, and I'm like, oh, no, we can't do that. Sorry. We do about 80% of our businesses in November and December. So it's just a very hectic time for us. But I said, you call me right after December. And I mean, she called me right away.
Oh, yeah. So the 31st was a Friday, right?
Yeah.
So I called it. I'm like, well, you know, I don't want to bother them on the weekend. So Monday the 3rd, I'm like, oh, hi, Lisa. Remember? You said I could get in touch with you.
Yep. We scheduled it. So we're thrilled to be
We're
here.
thrilled to be here, yeah.
Well, thank you guys
We're proud
so
of you.
much.
We are. You've just
Aw.
done great. And
Oh my
we're
gosh.
just so happy to have you in our community.
No, gosh, that means the world, and I didn't even pay them to say that earlier, I promise. All right, so, no, seriously, honestly, that really means the world, and you know, with 2022, what is so neat is now we're also on Roku, and you know, who knows what else can happen. I know you guys had a hard time watching some of the other shows on YouTube and Facebook, but that's our generation. I
Yeah.
do too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but your girls kind of
They can do it. They can do it.
Yeah, and
I
we're gonna
figured it out on my phone, so that worked. I was proud of myself.
We're getting there. All right, so let's start with the love story. And it's so cute how you're always on his left. Now, Lisa, from what you told me, this guy over here initially was your boss.
He was.
Okay, so but you didn't start dating.
Scandalous.
Oh, yes. But you guys didn't start dating until after, right?
Correct.
All right, so
Correct.
let's begin. I love this part. When you just share your love story, when you first saw him, where you're like, oh, hot damn, he's cute. See, you can say hot damn on my show too.
No, I mean, I'm sorry, honey. No, I didn't, because, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't looking for anybody, and he was in a managerial position. So, I mean, I was just, you know, a little desk clerk at a hotel, and he was a manager. So I didn't look at him like that at all. But then,
Plus, you were like engaged, right? Are we allowed to say that?
Oh!
Hello, she was like, man.
I wasn't
I was quite the
engaged.
player when I was younger.
Hello, I was married.
You were married.
I was married.
Wait. Oh, okay.
I went
wait,
to
wait.
her wedding. I've been in both of her weddings.
Okay. The crew right now is like, oh, there goes Sarina. This
Here
is
we
why I
go.
love the show.
I've been in
That's
both of
scripted.
her wedding
He's in
albums.
both of my wedding albums.
You are kidding. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. You were married.
Okay, he was my
yeah.
boss.
Okay.
And he was the best boss. He was so much fun every day. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but every morning I'd say, hey, Jim, how you doing? Super. I'm super. He was happy every single day. Never got flustered, never got mad. He was just the best boss and the hardest worker I had ever seen in my life. So I wanted him to come to our wedding. Why not? So he had a girlfriend. So he brought the girlfriend.
Oh my gosh.
And he's in the wedding album. Hilarious. So,
Let me tell you real quickly, too. Of course, I go to Service Merchandise. Do you remember that?
Yes, but listen, this is the New York Times version and not the Reader's Digest, so you can interrupt and add as much of the story as you want.
right,
This is
good.
New York
Plus you
Times.
can edit.
You
Well-
told me to condense it.
Oh yeah, well she goes on
Condense
too
the
long with
stories.
some of the stories. But yeah, the Service Merchandise. So then I go and I didn't know what to get, and her place settings were like $200 a place setting. I'm like, what? I'm going to buy her a fork or something. So I go to Service Merchandise. I get this little cheese board with a little cutter and a little glass bowl. So then, I give it to her at the wedding. Fast forward like a year and a half. She's moving in with me. I'm unpacking all of her stuff. She's got the cheese board.
No way.
And I
You
said,
were
what? You
kidding.
kept this $10 cheese board. And she's like, well, of course, no one else gave me one.
Oh my gosh, that's
And
so cute.
our daughter, who's now 30, but when she was younger, she used to take that cheese board and always bring out things and put little grapes on it. So
Oh my
that cheese board lasted a long time.
That is so sweet. Okay, we have got to go back though. So you were married. Okay, so
So I was married for a little quick stint.
okay
8
now,
months.
and how when you were you don't have to reveal your age if you don't want. But were you in your early 20s at this point? Or were you in college?
I
or?
was 23.
You were 23. Okay, my favorite number, Sammy's birthday. is-
23
Uh-huh.
when I married the first husband.
Okay.
We were only married for 8 months, and he was a very nice guy, but he was not the guy for me. And then so then Jim. So Jim was this awesome boss that I just thought was just so much fun. He was great. Then I went to another hotel to be a sales manager. So they didn't like their bosses, and I said, "Oh my gosh, you got to meet my old boss. He was a blast." And they're like, "Oh, let's set up a happy hour." So I set
where
up a
are we
happy hour.
going
Do you
to,
remember Roboconi's
Roboconi's?
back in the day? It was
You
next
don't
to
know
the
Roboconi's? Okay.
It was the Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn
on
on Cypress, which is now, I think, the DoubleTree, and right next to it where Charlie's was.
Charlie's.
was
Yes,
Robo
okay,
Connie's,
okay.
It used
and
to
I
be a
mean,
dance
it
club.
was the dance club. I mean, it was so much fun. So we set it up there because he had executive
privileges.
signing privileges. He could get us all drinks, So I
Edit
asked
that part out.
my little sales team, they're like, we've got to meet this Jim guy, blah, blah. Okay, so that Friday, they all bailed on me. And I'm like, the ex-husband had left. That was it. I'm done.
Oh, so you were
No,
wow.
freshly, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Like that
what?
day, I think.
I'm just gonna I'm just gonna meet him. Why
Okay.
not? But I'm still not thinking anything. I'm just like, I just wanted something to do.
Okay,
you
so
know?
I was going to ask you that. So, and with the ex-husband, and I know it was just a short stint, but it just didn't feel right. Like you knew it wasn't right.
It wasn't right.
They dated long distance for a long time.
Yeah,
during
I mean, we
college.
dated like 5.5 years, but a lot of it was
Wow.
long distance, and
Yeah.
it just wasn't the right fit for me. Very nice guy. I still see him today.
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
looking
no,
up. He's a,
no,
he's
yeah.
a client.
Really?
guy.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
All right, don't
That's
reveal anymore.
Yeah, we can the rest of it might be off the record. Okay, so but everybody bails, so you're
Everybody bailed. So I still meet him, and he's like, "Hey, where is everybody?" I said, "They all bailed. I'm so sorry." So then I sat down with him and I told him that I was getting divorced, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I'm so sorry." I said, "No, really, it's a good thing. The weight of the world's off my shoulders. It's fine." And he goes,
I asked for the cheese board back.
"No, you didn't."
Give me back my cheese board.
my cheese board.
Freaking thing lasted 8 months.
Okay, so Jim, though, I have to ask you though before Lisa goes further. Now, did you have a little crush on her before when she was there, or was it just like honestly, she's a great girl, but
At that age, I had a crush on everybody.
He was so bad. He was so bad. He went out with
I was in the
everybody.
hotel business. You know how you have a sailor has a different lady in every port.
Yeah.
I had a different lady in every department. So I was a bad boy back then.
So bad.
I'm not that anymore. If my daughters are watching this.
Because then all of a sudden too, it's like, oh, all of a sudden those bad boys do have the girls, right? They always have the girls who are like, oh, we don't want this to happen to our daughter, right?
No.
Right? It's a whole different picture.
Oh, God.
Okay, so is he still with the girlfriend? The girlfriend that he brought
I
to
had
Yes,
a date that night with her, which I canceled.
You canceled to? Oh wait.
Because she's going, oh my gosh.
No,
I said, I feel horrible
well, he
that
said,
you got
I've
divorced.
always wanted to ask you out. And I said, great. And he goes, well, when would you like to go? Okay, I literally can't believe this came out of my mouth, but it did. I said, how about tonight? I mean, I just didn't care. I was alone by myself, and I wanted to have some fun. So he goes,
So did you
okay.
call him on the phone before you guys met for the happy hour? No.
We didn't have cell phones back then.
On the landline.
So were you guys actually at the
bar.
We
were at the bar.
Oh,
We were
so you
talking
said
face to face.
Okay, and you're like, how about tonight?
Yeah, I'm like looking at him right there.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
And he goes, okay, wait, I have to make a phone call. And I said, you're not going to call. And I said her name.
Don't say the name.
Don't say the name. And
Off the record.
he said, no. He goes to his office and he calls her. Okay,
First time I lied.
liar, red flag right there, you know.
You should have known then to walk away. I'm a liar.
So then we went out that night and had a great time, and we really did. We had so much fun, and he just makes me laugh like crazy. So we started dating, but I never, you know, he does not like commitment. Okay, so I had just been fresh off of, you know, a marriage.
Yeah.
So
She didn't want commitment.
you know, so we went out all the time. We just had a ball. He had a boat. We went skiing. I mean, he worked like 12-hour days. So, but we would see each other pretty much every night except one night. And I never asked questions. I played it cool. He could have been with another girl. I didn't care. We were not boyfriend and girlfriend. It was like no big deal. And then they transferred him to Richmond, Virginia.
No,
After
wait.
how many months? 8 months?
8 months. We
So
dated for 8 months.
Okay. Oh my gosh, the story just gets better and better. So the one night.
Well, that was one night a week. She
One night a
said
week,
we would usually
yeah.
see each other 6 nights. So the
6
7th night,
He probably had.
So
another girl.
So you would reserve that night
Just in case.
Just in case.
for just. Oh my god.
Yes.
You never know.
Was it a specific night every week? Was it always Friday night, or always Wednesday night, or always Saturday
And
night?
sometimes, I mean, and we would always, when we called each other, we would say like, "Are you alone?"
No.
And then one
way.
time, I was with a friend of mine who's a client now, at a bar, and I said, I mean, I guess it was.
Yeah.
I said, "No, I'm not alone."
You
Okay.
go, girl.
And we were not on a date. We were not on a date or anything. And I mean, I
What
think
do you
he
mean
was
you're not
like,
alone?
what are you talking about? What do you mean you're not alone? I mean, it was pretty funny. So, and I didn't really play games like that, but that one time I just kind of did, and I think it did work.
Yeah.
Because he was a little
So
bit.
I went to Richmond, Virginia, and I was up there for how long? 3 months. And we, of course, we must have.
Well,
no, we didn't have
do you
cell
want to know
phones.
when
I was calling on the landline.
Do you know when I fell in love with him?
When?
Okay. It's pretty funny. He left his boat here, and I was going to sell his boat.
She was at the Cove. You know that?
Yes,
It's still
yes,
there.
the
That
Cove.
apartment
Okay.
complex.
On
For
West
all the
Shore.
young
So we like put the boat out, and you know,
For sale.
I talked to everybody, and so I'm sure everybody knew not my boyfriend, but the guy was dating, moved away, and I'm selling his boat, and blah blah blah. It's a big blabbermouth, you know. So one day he calls me. You know, we don't have cell phones. You don't have answering machines. So basically, if you want to talk to somebody, you got to sit by the phone and wait. So the phone rings and it's him, and he's going, you know, we're chatting, and he goes, "How's my boat?" And I said, can you hold on the phone just a minute, please? And I walked outside, and I said, "The boat's gone." And he goes, "You sold my boat?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Somebody stole my boat." I guess so, because it's not outside.
Are you
And
serious?
he started laughing. I mean, he was like, so like, whatever, it's okay, you know, whatever. And I thought, oh, I love him. He is the most awesome person I've ever met. Like, he never got upset about it, nothing. you know.
And it was stolen.
And it was stolen.
Has the boat ever been recovered?
No, never did.
No, they never found the boat. Somebody enjoyed. I mean, it wasn't like a fancy boat. It was like a little 18-footer. But you know, we would ski
behind
on it.
Yeah,
We had
but still,
we had a good
oh my
time.
gosh.
So yeah.
But that boat is priceless because that's when you realized 8 months into the guy that you were dating that you were in love with him.
But we
So
never.
whoever stole the boat, if they're watching, they can call, and there'd be no hard feelings.
There you go.
After 35 years, it'd be okay.
You can turn the boat back.
Right, so you don't have to feel guilty
I want my
about it.
cheeseboard back, and I want my boat back.
Jim, when did you know that you were in love with Lisa?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think there was a lot of nights. What?
Look, he's
I said it
blushing.
first.
You did?
Are you sure? You on the phone?
Hello, yeah.
And then I
He
said
had moved away
To Richmond?
to Richmond, and I think you stopped to see your parents in Indianapolis before, or what? And whatever. I was on the phone with him, and at the end of the conversation, I said, "I love you." I can't believe I said it. I mean, but I just did.
And purposely? Was it a conscious thing or did it just slip out?
It just came out,
Okay.
but I meant it 100%. And he said, "I love you too." And I literally was like hanging up the phone, you know, like calling my sisters, you know, afterwards, going, "Oh my gosh, Jim said it."
She still calls her sisters about everything. 35 years later.
I love it. I love it. Well, when do you think you're blushing? Like, when do you think you knew that you loved her? They say men know immediately.
I know. I thought that, and I thought, you know, I'm not sure that I knew immediately, but we had such a great time, whether it was out dancing or out to dinner or doing whatever. Then, of course, when I moved away, probably then I knew too. You know, I wanted to be with her. You know, so that's how I knew.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't that so sweet?
That just makes the heart grow fonder.
I know, and you know, in this case, it really did because you had a long distance relationship. I don't mean to mention, but you know, and that clearly that wasn't the right one.
Right.
So then, how did you get back to Tampa?
Well, being in the hotel, so, oh my gosh, let me tell you quickly. The drive to Richmond, which is like 12 hours,
Well, wait,
pouring down rain.
New York Times
I hadn't
version, that's
moved
okay.
there yet.
No,
you were there.
I was there for like 3 months. So I come back. We decide she's going to move up there.
Were you engaged?
Leaving
Not yet?
Tampa.
No, okay.
No.
You're leaving
She gave me
Tampa.
1 year. I'll
Okay.
live with you for 1 year if you don't ask me to marry. But
If it
of course,
doesn't
her
work
family
out,
is
then-
from here.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
the
born and
families.
raised, all in South Tampa. So I'm taking her away for the first time.
Wait, don't you remember we had the Last Supper?
Oh, the Last Supper with
Oh,
the
my
dad and the mom.
The
and
Last
all
Supper
the
with my mom,
uncles
then
and
my Last Supper
cousins.
with my dad, then they wanted to do the last breakfast. I mean, we were just bawling. I mean,
She's in the car for 12 hours. It's pouring down rain. I can't see out the front windshield, and she's crying the entire way
12 hours.
to Richmond.
Because you
And
missed your
I'm thinking,
family?
Yeah.
I can't
And I'm
believe
like, oh, I made a huge mistake. I kept thinking about doing a U-turn on 75 North or whatever it was.
Then we get up there, and he's got this stupid job. He literally is working from 7 in the morning till 11 at night.
No.
Yeah, the hotel
It was
business.
horrific. And we're living in this apartment that I hated because it had all his furniture and not my furniture. And we had a gas stove, and I couldn't cook on the gas stove, and I was burning everything. And I mean, it was just so. And I missed my
So,
family.
How many
and
months were we there?
3 months, and then we moved.
Then we moved to St. Louis, which was a great town.
He got transferred
But
to.
I mean, I will say this about Lisa, because, you know, 5 different cities we moved to in the hotel business. And then we had an opportunity. We were at the Embassy Suites in Greensboro. My boss said, you do a great job with this hotel. I'll give you the Embassy Suites in Tampa when it opens up at USF. And so then that's when I said, okay, so that's how we moved back to Tampa. We opened up the Embassy Suites USF. But she moved, you know, 5 different times, always
different
having
states.
to find, you know, the schools and the grocery stores. All I did was go to work and come home. So she had all the work to do. So
And he worked.
it's a lot.
Thank you, honey. He worked 12-hour days, and then we had a ball wherever we moved. I mean, we lived in
still have friends and
St.
all.
Louis, Missouri, Overland Park, Kansas, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greensboro, North Carolina. I mean, we had a great time, and we have friends everywhere we live that we still keep in touch with. But it was hard, you know. We had 2 daughters, 2 years apart. He worked 12 hours a day, and he worked 6 days a week.
Yeah,
and I
hotel
was
industry.
like in the cold. I had never seen fall leaves. I had never seen snow. I'm like, what is this? You know, I mean, it was great, but it was hard. You know, no family at all up there. But we always made always make friends and stuff, and
She's very likable.
it's just
Yeah.
We were
She'll
too.
talk
I mean,
to everybody.
yeah, no,
She can talk to
you're
everybody.
very likable too, but she's very
She's more
likable.
likable than I am. Let's be honest.
So on this note,
Let's be
we're
honest.
going to go to a break because of course you guys have moved to all these states, but we have to get to like when you propose, like did it happen within the year? Hold that thought, because we're going to talk about it as soon as we come back after this break. Stay with us.
The holidays are coming up. Why not give the gift of health for your skin? South Tampa Dermatology is offering a special through February, and you can save hundreds. You can get the ZO products I use for 12 weeks of care, a 3-step ZO peel, and a laser treatment. I've had them all, and I can tell you it is well worth the investment. It's another reason why I rely on the Dream Team at South Tampa Dermatology.
If you're out there watching this, call me.
I am having so
can edit
much
that,
fun.
can't you?
So much fun with these guys. Lisa and Jim Schalk, owners of Toffee To Go. I promise we're going to be talking about this as well. And we have viewers. I'm so thankful for this, but all over the world now. We get like viewers like. So we are based here in St. Petersburg, Florida. The studio is at CP Communications and Red House Streaming, and your business is in Tampa, Florida. Yeah. And before we went to the break, we were talking about how your parents, the family, basically gave you a year. Lisa, you did.
I did.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't like an ultimatum, but I said I will move away for a year. But if it doesn't work out, we're not engaged or whatever. I'm done.
But I really commend you for that. Because it's not. It isn't. Some people can call it an ultimatum, but it's not so much that. It's more like what's good for you.
Oh, yeah,
like,
and
you
it
want to move on.
And it was back in like 1985 or 86. I mean, that was, a little more taboo back then than what it is now.
Yeah, and I don't mean to use the word taboo at all, but it was more unusual, right? Like during that time, and then to move to a different state.
Well, and I will say I would have never, ever, ever moved in with him in Tampa. That my family, I would have never done that to my family because that would have been
interesting.
They would not have approved of that.
And do you think that's more of the time then?
Yes,
it's different now, right?
It's different, yeah.
It's different now at the time then.
Sure.
So, all right. So, how long did it take you to propose?
It must
We
have been
moved there
to
in
St. Louis.
May, and you proposed on Valentine's Day.
He
beat the ultimatum. He beat the year.
The ultimatum.
We got married in June, so we got married a year and a month.
So we got married. Yeah, I proposed in February, and we got married in June.
Yeah.
Of course, it was a smaller wedding. She had the big wedding, which I went to.
Which was hilarious when you said, "Oh yeah, I was there at both weddings." That was so funny.
This next wedding wasn't going to be that big.
But it was still nice.
It was very nice.
It was very nice. And we had it in his hometown where all his people could come.
Right.
Of course, my family came, and my grandparents came, and my sisters, and so that was nice.
So I had the ring, and I put it in. We were at a nice restaurant that's no longer open.
Okay, well, that's what's good. You were in St. Louis, though.
St. Louis.
Okay, all right.
Al Baker's. It was a great restaurant.
Okay.
And did I put it in cheesecake? Because you don't like cheesecake.
No, key lime pie.
Key lime pie.
With a big silver dome.
No way.
I had like 3 scotches.
Slam of the drink.
I tried to get on one knee. I think I fell on one knee. No. I was nervous.
How long before you proposed were you?
Did I have the ring?
Yeah, and were you thinking about it and stuff?
It's probably quite a few months because I had to get the ring and everything. So I think I knew for quite a while.
I don't know that I've ever even asked you that, honey.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But yeah.
This is why I love the show too. Couples find out things that they didn't even know. Okay, so
she went in and had gone to the bathroom. I put the ring in the key lime pie, and then opened the thing up and asked her if she would marry me.
It was. I mean, I was so surprised.
She got on the phone, called her sister.
Of course. How many sisters do you have? 2, and what are their names?
Kim and Debbie.
Hi, Kim. Hi, Debbie. We're giving you a shout out. She called her sisters, of course. When you place
And my mom.
And your mom.
Yeah.
Okay, of course. Okay, so when you place the ring in the key lime pie, did you put it in the key lime pie or on top?
Just on top. Like,
yeah, because can you
I didn't want to take a bite of it.
So you use the ladies' room, then you put the ring on top of the key lime pie, and
she came
And then
back.
they had the big silver dome. So then you know, he got on one knee and the guy lifted it up or something and he proposed. And I mean, I was just boo-hooing, you know.
Did you have a
No, we got
feeling?
married in 4 months. I mean, that's pretty
know,
good.
that is-
That's a fair bit of Jim.
That's not pretty good. It's amazing. I mean, that's awesome. But that was pretty funny when you said she already had the, you know.
She had the big wedding.
But we had a good time. Oh, but no, I will tell you this. This is hilarious. He's got 5 sisters and 1 brother.
So wonderful, blessed big family.
I do always recommend, if you marry somebody, make sure they have sisters, because they learn a lot when they have sisters, you know. So, but this is one thing they learned, and I was like, I just couldn't believe it. Remember, they were all going to Dale Hollow for a family vacation, this lake in Kentucky, and they're like, why don't y'all do your honeymoon there? I'm like, what?
What?
What is wrong with you?
I'm like, party on.
No, and Jim's going, and I squashed that right away. I'm like, no, we go by ourselves to the honeymoon, you know. And I love his family dearly, and I love the
like,
family
come on,
vacations,
it's
but yeah,
honeymoon.
it was our honeymoon.
So Lisa, before we continue though, did the proposal come as a shock to you? Or were you thinking that night, this could be the night?
No, I don't think that I was thinking. I mean, he still had 4 months, so I thought, I thought maybe my birthday, or which was in March, you know. So it was a surprise, and it was the best surprise ever.
Oh, I know, that's so sweet. And so, all right, so the wedding, you said it was, where is your hometown, Jim?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay,
So
Indianapolis,
Midwest.
okay, in the Midwest. Was it, like, truly, was that, like, when you were walking down the aisle, not like the first one, but you knew, right, that he was the guy?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. And it's been so great all these years. But of course, we have our challenges. We don't really anymore. I mean, do you think?
No.
Okay.
We used to. We had quite a few in the beginning.
But you know, it was hard, you know, to be away from your family but I think that was one of the best things for us, because we had to just depend on each other, you know, and so we didn't have outside forces, you know. Like I said, we didn't have cell phones. You didn't communicate with them as much. It was a long distance call to call home, you know. So you kind of figured out everything together.
Did the kids come, the girls come pretty quickly? I know they're only 2 years apart.
We got married when I was 26, and the day before my 29th birthday.
Almost 3 years.
Taylor. So, yeah,
You
3
had your
years.
first. And boy, March is a great month, right? Aren't both girls born in
Yeah.
March?
Yeah.
Both girls are born in
March
March. Your birthday is
7th,
in March.
March 21st, and then I'm March 22nd.
Oh my gosh, so
it's a
March
busy-
is a rough month.
Yeah, I was
Kind
going
of
to say.
like Christmas.
Yeah, like March is a very
I'm
expensive
just
month.
paying off Christmas in March, and then now their birthdays come.
When is your birthday? Do you get
January.
Oh, January.
January
So-
17th,
January
Betty
7th.
White's
Oh,
100th
gosh.
birthday would have happened on Jim's 63rd.
Oh, but we love Betty White.
We
So,
do.
you know, her personality, I even posted about like how much, like, thank you so much to her for making us laugh.
I know. She's
So
the
much, you know.
best.
So you both share
And
the
we're
same
all about
birthday.
the laughter
Right.
in
Yes.
our household. We like
Yeah.
to laugh.
You know what's so interesting though, what you guys just mentioned, because you know people do take a look at the two of you, and you know I did certainly, and you know what a beautiful, amazing couple. And your girls have even said that they're both single. I hope that's okay to say on the record, but they want a relationship and a marriage like the two of you had, so their bar is probably set pretty high, I would imagine.
It is, and they tell us that all the time. They're like, y'all don't make it easy, you know, and we said it's worth the wait. You know, you'll find the right one.
Yeah,
you know.
but I appreciate like Jim and you both are being so honest that there is no perfect couple. There are challenges. So do you guys mind like sharing, like as you said, there's no family, you know, you have 2 young kids, you're working all the time. Am I assuming the challenges, or were there other challenges as well?
No, I think that's
I think,
probably.
you know, I mean, I was blessed that I could be a stay-at-home mom, but it was hard to be a stay-at-home mom with a husband that was away 12 hours. I mean, literally, he'd walk in the door and I'd be like,
You're the girl.
Right.
I just, and see, he's talking to people all day at work, because he's a manager and he's got a big staff and customers and everything. And I'm talking to my 2 children, my babies, all day. And I just wanted some adult conversation. And he didn't, you know, he was like, I'm sick of talking, you know. So we had to kind of work that. And I think one of the best things that we ever did was because I'd go on and on and on about my day, and like he wasn't listening. And I would get so mad. And finally, I just looked at him and I said, if you don't want to listen, just say, I don't want to listen. And then I won't tell a story. But I get mad when I expend the energy to tell the story and then you don't listen. So honest to God, it's been so many years. And sometimes he'll just look at me and go, I don't want to listen. I'm like, okay. And I'm fine with it. So, you know, I think communication is just very important, you know.
Absolutely.
In a marriage.
You know, and being a stay-at-home mom, honestly, is the most commendable job. I mean, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and the memories that you give your children with the baking of the chocolate chip cookies, like the mom's the one that picks you up and put the cold compress on when you get the, you know, that's priceless. And a lot of times, I mean, believe me, I've struggled with feeling selfish for being a working mom, but I know that makes me a better mom for you. But I do want to, that is so commendable. And I always say that's the hardest job.
Because how old were the girls when we started Toffee To Go?
Well, 7th and 9th grade when we officially incorporated, and then we did it for 4 years before that, just out of the home at Christmas time. So
it took the girls a while because they're going, we're like, well, I can't just take you there. I have to go to work. And they're going, well, it's not really work, right, Mom?
Don't you own it?
Don't you own it? You don't have any customers back then. We're like, you can't be doing anything.
I mean, they were like, wait, why can't you take me here? Why can't I do, you know, it was a little adjustment on them.
For them, too.
Well, it's so cute because their mom was at their beck and call, like no matter what, right? Like, it's like, okay.
But it was a good financial lesson for our children because, you know, he quit his career job. We had no income, 0, and a 7th and 9th grader. So we really took a leap of faith. And so we couldn't buy our children anything. I mean, it was like, you want a new dress, you got to babysit, you got to save your money. And that was a great life lesson because they did not grow up entitled. They, you know, they earned their stuff. They babysat. They were, oh my gosh, they babysat like crazy and saved their money.
Wow.
Yeah.
But what? Okay, so here is Toffee To Go, and this is so you guys did. I know you guys started in your house
24 years ago.
24 years ago. So, Jim, why did you leave the hotel industry? Was it just getting to be too grating? To be away from the family, or what was it?
No, I think it was to start Toffee To Go. You know, we felt like we had something here, and we said let's jump into it.
You know, we did it out of our home, and we were making money, and people were requesting it and everything, and I just said, let's do this. Let's take the risk, you know. And so we did it. It was a big leap of faith. But,
oh my gosh! And let me tell you, it is the most amazing toffee ever on the planet.
It is good.
And I really, honestly, would like to invite you guys back on the show. On the record, on the record show, to talk more specifically about taking that leap of faith and starting the business, because to talk to entrepreneurs on how, you know,
we got a lot of funny stories about that.
Yeah, no, I would really love to invite you guys back on that series to talk about, because you guys did take the leap of faith, and
the leap of faith was getting married. I thought. I didn't think the leap of faith quitting a $100,000 job was no big deal. The leap of faith is when we got.
So you guys are. Then thank you so much. Believe me, this is the best ever. Oh my gosh! All right. So
we've been so blessed with that.
So, Toffee To Go is now the business. It is the busiest months, of course, are in November and December. Oprah featured you guys as one of her favorite things. You guys tell us about your mortar shop and how else people can get Toffee To Go.
All right.
Well, that was you.
Well, we were in Tampa on South, on Beta Bay Boulevard, and that's where the production was. We outgrew that, so we moved over here to Pinellas, so we're close to you. And that sat really just with Toffee for a couple of years, and I thought, boy, we're paying a lot in rent. We have a full kitchen. What can we do with it? So I thought desserts, which made sense. I only know how to make the toffee. I'm not a pastry chef, so we hired a pastry chef. And now most of the desserts that sell are made with the toffee. I mean, a toffee cookie, a toffee cheesecake, a gooey toffee bar. So all that is probably our best sellers. But it's a wonderful place to come in, sit down, have a cup of coffee.
Beautiful outdoor seating.
Ice cream, you know, and all the different desserts.
We wanted it to
Everything's
be
made
like
fresh.
a very warm, inviting atmosphere for first dates or families, and just a
Yes.
place. He really wanted TVs up there, and I put the kibosh on that. I said, no, I want people to talk to each other.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
want
so sweet.
people to talk to each other.
Sweet. And where is the location?
3251 West Bay to Bay Boulevard in South Tampa.
And I love, I mean, believe me, I take my 14-year-old girl,
you.
Sammy there, I take Sammy there. It's such a great location. And again, I would encourage people, until we do the On the Record show more specifically about the business, to watch the Unlocking Tampa Bay
yeah, that was
show,
great.
where
Yeah.
you guys talk about the business and being, you know, together in business.
20 years.
20 years. And I love when Jim said the real leap of faith was getting married, but it totally paid off. Totally paid off. So I always love asking couples like yourself, you know, as we wind up the show, what words of advice would you have for people out there that want solid relationships like the two of you?
You know, one thing, she talks about comparison being a thief of joy, and you know, and you have to stop comparing yourselves with other couples. Or there's always going to be couples that seem happier or seem like they have more money or a larger house. When you stop comparing yourself and just look at it and figure out how blessed you are to have each other and what you do have, I think that's a huge part of it right there.
I love that, honey.
But and you know what? I don't know if compromise, I know it's supposedly a bad word, especially in politics nowadays, but you have to compromise. I mean, there's things she wants to do, and I'm like, okay, so we do that. There's things that I want to do that I'm sure she doesn't like doing. So you have to compromise, you know? You're always doing that.
No, I
and
love
communication.
That.
You know, communicate, you know, like when I said, tell me if you don't want to listen. You know, I'm fine with that, but just communicate that to me. And then fun. I mean, you gotta have fun. We laugh. Jim is so funny, and we just laugh every day. And I think that makes for a great relationship.
I love it, guys. And truly, every time I do the show and I ask the couples for advice, you do really learn such new things. Like when you first said, Jim, about not comparing, you know, that's honestly the first time I've heard that. You know, and I just think that's why I love this show so much, because we see so many negative things, I think, you know, not that I think, we know in the world, but the most beautiful thing is love. Whether it's the love of a couple, love of a child, love of friendship, you know. So I certainly loved having you on. I wanted to ask you, what did you think? What do you think of my outfit today?
You look fabulous.
Oh, well, the reason why I mention it is because, so officially, and they're going to come on too, the owners of the Label Swap, they're adorable, Lisa and Chris Pearson. So they own the Label Swap, and he also owns some thrift stores and things like that. They're such an adorable couple. They are actually have signed on, and they're providing my wardrobe for the show. Get out of town! So you guys are the first ones. And I wish I would show my shoes. We'll take a picture later, but my shoes are red.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Did you notice?
I did notice them, because I'm thinking, how can she walk in those high heels?
Oh yeah, high heels are my tennis shoes. Yeah. Yeah, they make fun of me, but high heels are my tennis shoes. But so you guys are the first show where I actually get to say, hey, people have been watching this show, and now they're providing my wardrobe.
That's amazing.
I mean, come on.
Does it get any better than that?
It doesn't. Well, maybe the topic. Adding on that. I loved having you guys both on the show.
We loved being here. It was fun to share our old stories of love.
No, we love it. Is there anything that you would like to say in closing at all?
No.
We
come buy toffee.
Cheers to 35 more years.
Here's to 35 years in June.
Oh, I love it.
And come buy more toffee.
And come buy more toffee for sure. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank
and
you.
we would love for you guys to share the show, right? So we have so many platforms that you can share the show on, and we've also shared, we're going to put up a new graphic that we're also on Roku now, Roku worldwide, and it's a free, you can download it for free. I know, ask the girls, believe me, I have to ask them.
I'm challenged that way.
Yeah. Oh, I am too, and I'm in the business. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for your support, and we hope you have a great week. And remember, if there is a couple that you would like to recommend for Love in America, or if you would like to be on our Dating in America show, please reach out. We always, we love it. That's how we find all of our people. Love you guys.
Love you.
Thanks for watching.